Hey there, it's Gwen, and I thought I would do my first live reading here on Highest Good live. I wanted to talk and share about some of the energies that I have been feeling, and also some of the energies that I see coming up in the chart at this time, October 29th, 2020. The placements that I'm going to be sharing with you are based on Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which will end soon, from New York, New York. I want to just disclaim that this is for entertainment purposes only, and we are all responsible for our own choices that we make and how we perceive or interpret some of the astrological aspects. Don't ever replace a generalized reading for a personal reading. It really is best to have a personal workup of your chart done, so that you have a clear understanding of how these transits are affecting you personally within your own life. And it is possible to do that with astrology. So right now, I'm looking at a lot of energy, and there are 3 planets: Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is the 3rd earth sign of the Western zodiac. Capricorn is a cardinal sign, so cardinal likes to lead. It is an earth sign, so when it comes to events or feelings related to Capricorn, we're talking about really deep-seated, old, ancient, antique. Those are some of the words that are associated with Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn is a planet of karma, they say, but it is also rules institutions and structures and governments that are formed, to, have to form structure in society, I would say. But Capricorn is Capricorn is a moneymaker. Capricorn is like the manager of the zodiac, and it also sits on the U.S. chart here with a lot of activity. So we're talking about a lot of disruption right now in the sign of Capricorn. Where I'm situated right now, I'm looking at a lot of action in the whole house system, in the 7th house. And so we're kind of looking at a lot of destruction, a lot of stuff going on with legalities and marriage and I wouldn't say inheritance necessarily, but definitely partnerships. If you're finding yourself going through a period of time that is just like, seems like it's never ending, where, you've had a slew of people who are close to you that have passed away or anything like that, or, situations where, things happen in your life. Things have happened over the last, I'd say, since 2008. Pluto started moving into the sign of Capricorn, and it still continues moving through Capricorn. It's at 26 degrees. It's coming near the end, but it's definitely been really difficult for people who have placements in their chart in Capricorn. Capricorn is represented by the mountain goat. So You know, what do goats like to do? You know, goats like to climb mountains. And so, you know, like, I don't know any Capricorn who's ever happy once they make it to the top, because it's really not about the money. It's about the journey that gets you to the top of that mountain. And to anyone who has heavy Capricorn placements, and to a lot of the government systems that exist in the United States of America, we have Capricorn placements, and we have Pluto, the planet of destruction, moving through there in the 7th house. There's going to be a lot of partnerships breaking up right now over a period of time. You know, it's all a blessing, because, you know, Jupiter is coming right behind that action, and, you know, it's good. It's good. It's for the better. I do want to say that all of the activity in Capricorn is forming, like, it's got a square that's hitting Mercury in Libra right now. And so there will be communications that happen that really change you know, it's in the 4th house, you know, this activity with the square of Venus in Libra. So we're talking about, like, communications around home, mother, you know, the things that make us feel comfortable and at home, you know, all those things ruled by the 4th house, you know, where we come from. You know, the base, you know, and really, like, all the changes that are happening right now and all the transformation is really, really interfering with the way that we view our home. You know, in the sign of Libra, we're talking about equality, we're talking about justice, and will there be justice? You know, it is squaring Saturn right now. You know, it's really a bad time to get divorced right now. You could lose a lot of money. You know, you could lose a sense of home and security and belonging. And so, you know, we're all experiencing that right now. Where Pluto is involved, it's not really a choice. You know, it's really not a choice. It's just, you know, Pluto is a collective planet. It takes a long time to move through a single sign, a couple of years to 3 years. Sometimes it backs out and it goes back into the sign it was in, and then it goes back in, and then when it's not retrograde, it moves into the next sign again. And so, you know, we see this happening with Pluto, but it is conjunct Jupiter right now. And so that tells me that there are some blessings out of this. The other thing is Jupiter is, you know, Jupiter is higher education, travel, international communications, you know, journeys, moves, you know, like blessed things, I believe are happening right now, if we can just get through a lot of the Pluto pain that we're experiencing. Pluto and Saturn really have tough lessons to teach. I mean, it's not an easy thing. You know, we're talking about values also in the 7th house, which rules Libra. I mean, you know, that is Libra's house, and, you know, it's ruled by Venus. It's just not an easy chart. I would say that all of this, what's happening is many of us are coming into attunement with our spiritual selves. And we see Neptune sitting in Pisces right now. We see Pisces, you know, as the midheaven right now. I'm looking at Pisces as the midheaven. And so what we're all looking at here is from, you know, a collective perspective. We all really are focused on striving towards the unknown. You know, Pisces is the unknown. And, you know, what are some of the other connotations, you know, with Pisces, you know, any of those connotations? I mean, I think of the sign of Pisces, and, you know, I'm thinking of just the sign of the fish, you know, Yeshua or Jesus, or, you know, the fisherman, the healer, you know, the healer. And we have Neptune there. You know, there's a lot of unconscious energy that is moving around in the collective, and it's creating a lot of it's kind of, you know, things are really murky in the sign of in Pisces. So, you know, what are we looking at? We're not even really sure. You know, the Neptune in the midheaven is in the ninth house of the chart right now. And, you know, so it's like, how long before we can travel? You know, there's a lot of unclear, lack of clarity around that. I don't really see a lot of traveling happening right now. And, you know, there are things happening when it comes to international travel that I think eventually will come revealed. But right now, it's just we can't see it. The other highest point in the chart is in the 10th house, where Mars, the Moon, Chiron, and Lilith are sitting in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, mythologically. It's conjunct the Moon. The 10th house, again, is the house of Capricorn, so this makes it even more powerful. We're talking about a lot of intense energy with emotion combined in the 10th house. It is very fiery. You know, is there room for healing? I don't know. I see Lilith sitting here. Lilith, you know, Lilith is in Aries right now. And, you know, Lilith is bringing in some leaders. I mean, you know, I see a leader coming in here. We are Lilith and Aries right now, but this leader, you know, really is not going to accept any kind of servitude. You know, like this leader in Aries, the dark side of Lilith and Aries is just not being able to be anything but me first. And so there is that energy in the chart in Aries. It's not too close. It's not in tight orb to the Moon in Aries. The Moon and Mars are conjunct, really emotional in the 10th house. Maybe some fighting, you know, it's intention. Be careful when you're driving. Be careful around, you know, public places, really. I mean, the 10th house is like business, you know. I mean, it's a little unnerving, but it's just what we're seeing in the chart. You know, it's what we're seeing in our society is a lot of disruption and change, destruction. We're seeing, you know, lots of inequality as we see Mars and the Moon opposing in Libra. You know, that's like the 4th and the 10th. You know, there's a lot of opposition, you know, home versus out in the world. You know, what do we do? You know, there's a lot of different views on that right now. And so there is tension there. How is what's happening in the home having an impact on the institution? There is disruption there. The other point in the chart that I'm looking at right now is Uranus and Taurus. It did back into Aries. Now it's while it was it's still retrograde right now. But it's coming pretty well into Taurus right now. We're gonna have a lot of unexpected developments when it comes to security. Some surprising things that might come back. But it's like Back to the Future. You know, Uranus is a technological planet. I mean, you know, it's opposing the sun right now. It's in opposition to the sun in Scorpio. So, you know, Taurus and Scorpio, we're talking about the 5th and 11th houses, groups of people. So, groups of people, people that we have things in common with, the things that we do with others in groups that we have things in common with. We have Uranus sitting there retrograde, and it is sitting at 7 degrees, 8 degrees of Taurus, and then we have the Sun opposing Uranus at 7 degrees Scorpio, sorry. Taurus loves security, and Scorpio likes the money. So, we're having a lot of disruption. Uranus rules technology and higher communications and dimensional communications, outer space. Technology is like, I think that we're going to be having this new discovery. I see the part of fortune sitting in the sign of Aquarius, which Uranus is ruled by. And, we're talking about freedom. We're talking about humanitarianism right now. That's really where the good luck is happening. Love for all, love for all the people on this planet as equal. There's a lot of disruption around that. If you are a Sun in Scorpio and you're noticing that there's like some tension happening, you might find that you're having some surprising communications about love, and maybe that impacts the groups. It would be something coming back from the past, or something coming back around. The energy, it could be internal. There's just some tension there in terms of communication. But I do think there are going to be some surprising communications that are going to have an impact. And I think those communications and possibly some other disruptions are going to happen in groups of people that have things in common, which is the 11th house. So in general, I'd say that the most positive and supporting angles are happening actually between like Jupiter and Neptune right now. So, there's some lucky stuff happening for some Pisceans. Neptune is really, doing a lot of good healing work. Pisces is a very spiritual sign. Neptune is doing some good work there, and that really does appear to be the blessing, is moving towards spirit and really just being okay to just be and accept the not knowing, using faith and whatever you believe in that you would consider a blessing. So, with the ascendant right now in Cancer, we're all talking about home, security, safety. Yeah, so that's the general theme. All right, thanks for tuning in to my first video, which was not really actually a video of myself, but my first little video podcast, October 29th, 2020. Thanks.